Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, I hope you're staying safe. I hope everything's good. I hope you guys are keeping well. I hope you guys are staying safe. You know, that was a lively live stream. A lot of topics got mentioned. A lot of things were said. A lot of things were, you know, got heated. And listen, in boxing, as I said, as things are respectable, it's, you know, as long as they're respectable, it's fine. But, you know, it does get heated. It does get, you know, at times it can get a little bit heated. And it did. It did. It was hilarious. Smash the like button, by the way. Smash the like button for the live stream. And go watch the live stream. It was a 3-hour live stream. And it was an epic one. It was an epic live stream. And a lot was said. Let's get into the video. Oleksandr Uysk and Anthony Joshua. This is a fight. Obviously, they're talking about the rematch happening in March, April time. I'd love to know your guys' opinions. I know that we've spoken about it in the live stream, and we go into a lot of stuff in the live stream. We talk about so many different things. But Stephen actually brought up a good point in the live stream, that Oleksandr Uysk made a good point about Anthony Joshua, saying that Anthony Joshua, his body language a bit strange. He doesn't seem confident within himself. He said he's seen few fights where he's ran out of stamina, and you know, it feels like he don't believe in himself. Anthony Joshua seems like he's doubting himself. Something doesn't seem right. You know, his body language is a bit strange. And you know what? I've also found his body language a bit strange. Sometimes when Anthony Joshua does an interview, I don't always understand, like, what he's saying. Like, sometimes, you know, like someone's talking in riddles. You're a bit confused. What is this guy actually trying to say? Like, he seems a bit confused. Like, even when he did the interview recently, like, with IFL, like, he just seems a bit confused to, like, what is he? What's his identity in terms of, like, is he a boxer? Is he a puncher? Like, even stuff like when he was going to the ring and he was asking Clifton Mitchell for advice, like, you kind of think, why are you asking Clifton Mitchell for advice? And even the answer that he gave, it was just like, I don't understand where he's coming from. Like, this is a guy that was a wrecking machine at one point, and now he's not that same guy. What's going on? Like, he was a wrecking machine, and what's happened? What's changed? Like, and it's quite clear, the loss. And a lot of people mentioned it, like, you know, the Klitschko thing. He became very conservative after that fight. The Klitschko fight, Anthony Joshua became very cautious after being knocked down because he never wanted that. And that, to me, told me that Anthony Joshua, you know, people are now saying that he's not cut from the right cloth and he's, you know, he hasn't got it. I believe he has got it, but I think, I believe that the Klitschko fight, when he got knocked down, he doesn't like being hurt. He doesn't like being down. It feels like it embarrasses him. He feels humiliated. And he wants to box a safety first fight like Klitschko, but he's just not being able to master that style. And guys can still get to him. Klitschko mastered it. That's probably because of the fact Klitschko was really good at doing what he was doing. Also, Klitschko wasn't fighting he wasn't fighting great fighters, to be honest with you. This era is a bit more competitive. Got a bit more better fighters in the heavyweight division. And even when you saw him, when he got knocked out to Ruiz, and even against Povetkin, to be honest with you, he looked shaky at the start of that fight. You know, the Takam fight, he looked shaky. The Parker fight, he looked okay, but I do think the referee was terrible in that fight. And he kind of, he just spoiled that fight. But Joshua did what he had to do. But then against Ruiz, then he got knocked out, and then in the second fight he did okay. He beat Andy Ruiz, but he didn't look comfortable doing it. He didn't look confident, you know. You know, when Tyson Fury does it, he does it with a lot more assurity. He does it with a lot more confidence. Whereas Joshua looked nervous. He looked like every time Ruiz got close, that, you know, is he gonna fall off again? You know, it just doesn't seem to have that same level of confidence. Mentally, he's been affected massively by the loss. And then the Usyk fight, That's why when people were saying Anthony Joshua beats Usyk, I couldn't see it. I remember like Ray, Steven, all of these guys were saying, nah, Anthony Joshua was going to destroy you. And I was like, I can't see it. I'm going off what I've seen so far, the cautiousness in Joshua, you know, and then people said, well, he tried to box him. Well, that's what he's been doing his whole career. You know, he hasn't, against Parker, what did he do? He boxed against him. He didn't, against Ruiz the second time to be successful, he boxed against him. What did you think? He was all of a sudden, like, since he's been knocked out to Ruiz, he's been completely just behind that jab and trying to, but you can't do that against Usyk. So now it requires him to do something that go against his instinct, which is to box. You know? Even against Pulev, he didn't look great in that fight. He did what he had to do, but he didn't look great in that fight. That wasn't a spectacular performance by any stretch. And a lot of people have criticized me for being an Anthony Joshua hater. I'm just saying what I see. I'm saying what I see. I'm not hating on Anthony Joshua. I like Anthony Joshua. I want him to do well. But I'm just saying what I see. I think I think there's some doubt there. Whether it's that whether he's scared to take a shot because he doesn't trust his chin. I don't know whether it's the fact that he feels that if I let my hands go too consistently, that I might run out of gas. I don't know what it is. But something don't seem right. Something doesn't seem right with AJ. Something just doesn't seem right. And only he can get to the bottom of what it is, really, because Usyk isn't going to be like Andy Ruiz. Usyk isn't going to go off the rails. Usyk is going to come and fight the same fight. And he's a very clever, intelligent fighter. If I were to sit here right now, I can't see Anthony Joshua winning that fight. And I'm being honest with you, I actually think Oleksandr Uysk will stop Joshua in a rematch. That's my honest opinion. I might be wrong. I might be totally off. And maybe you guys disagree with me. I actually think Oleksandr Uysk will stop him. I just can't see Joshua making the changes he needs to make mentally. I don't think he can get over that. I might be wrong, and I don't think he can do it in that short space of time anyway. I don't, because from what I've seen ever since the Andy Ruiz defeat, I've always seen the same thing. I've always seen AJ look a little bit vulnerable. Like I've never seen a confident performance. I've always seen like the vulnerability there. It's never gone away. Whereas before, when I saw him fight Dillian Whyte, even though he got hurt in that fight and the one vulnerability was there, Joshua was ruthless and relentless. He was like a wrecking machine. I haven't really seen that old Joshua back. Since, you know, the Klitschko fight, he has been very cautious. But I still think that ruthless Joshua was slightly there. But I think the Ruiz fight completely knocked his confidence out. I think he was never the same. Like, never this... I've not seen the same kind of ruthless killer instinct. Like, people say Joshua never had killer instinct. I disagree. I believe he did. Because if you look at a Klitschko fight, the first four rounds, there was nothing happening. It was just going. And then all of a sudden in the fifth round, Joshua just went after Klitschko. And he went to destroy him. And Joshua just went attacking him and went after him. That's killer instinct. Yeah, he couldn't finish Klitschko, but Klitschko was so experienced at that point, and Klitschko actually came back in the fight. But even if you look at the fights prior to Klitschko, and I know Klitschko, the level before that, he wasn't fighting elite fighters. You know, Martin and all these guys were lower level guys. But nevertheless, you still saw that ruthless edge. But as soon as obviously the level of competition gets better, they're going to hit you more. They're going to be able to take your shots better, right? And Joshua, as the competition got better, his vulnerabilities, which naturally do show a lot more, started showing. That's just natural with anyone. Like, as you step up the levels. The thing is, there's been a lot of guys that have had suspect chins or dodgy stamina. But I feel like it doesn't change the way of they fight. It doesn't build self-doubt. Like Amir Khan, he didn't have the greatest chin and he'd been knocked down so many times. Even prior to becoming a world champion, he'd been knocked down a couple of times. But Amir Khan still had self-belief. He still had a lot of confidence in himself. He still believed in himself. Like, even after being knocked out, like against Garcia and that, he still believed in himself. He was still the same Amir Khan. It wasn't like he became gun-shy or he started throwing less punches. He worked out a strategy. Like, I felt like under Virgil Hunter, he started holding a lot more. But he was still the same Amir Khan. I don't think he was throwing less or he was affected by it. Yeah, you could say his punch resistance might have been a bit affected when he got caught with a shot. You know, he had flashbacks of being, you know, but it was still the same old Amir Khan. I didn't really see any kind of mental fragility there in Khan's game. I still felt like there was still the same Amir Khan. The offensive brilliance was still there. Whereas with Joshua, it's like, I feel like after the Ruiz fight, even offensively, you can see he's not the same guy. And when people say Joshua hasn't got the killer instinct, I disagree. He did have it. But he's kind of lost that. I feel like there's so much self-doubt now. Is like, even when he goes in for an attack, he feels like he stops himself because he thinks he's going to get gassed out. Just so many things that I think that are going in his head. I don't, like I said, it's going to be very difficult against someone like Oleksandr Uysk to get over that. Because Usyk is such a great fighter and such a skilled fighter. You know, even if you've got chinks in your armor physically, or like from a skills point of view or mentally, Usyk is going to get those chinks out. Same with Fury. Fighters like Fury and Usyk won't let you get away with chinks. That's the problem. And that's why I fear for Anthony Joshua going in that rematch. I do. I'm not sure he wins that fight. And I'll even go a step further and say I think Usyk will stop him in the rematch. I do. I think Usyk now knows that this guy can be hurt. Usyk is probably going to step on the gas because Usyk now knows I can hurt this guy. This guy, you know, is he going to be able to take he can only take so much. And I just don't think, Joshua's got Wilder kind of toughness. Whereas I think if someone starts hitting him a lot, because I think Usyk was boxing safe. I don't think Usyk was going aggressive enough. I think Usyk was fighting smart. I think he just wanted to win on points. And then eventually in the later parts when he saw Joshua tiring in the 12th round, he started going for it and it was very close to stopping him. Now he knows he can get Joshua in that place. So he may step on the gas early. And in even Joshua's power, Usyk might know that he can take his power. Now the thing is with Usyk, he's got to be careful when doing that. Because Joshua is a bigger man and he can still punch. If Joshua lands something, he could hurt Usyk. Usyk has got a very good chin and he showed that. And he's very tough. So it's not just the skill and the thing. He's got a very good chin and he's tough. He's mentally very strong, Usyk. So it's going to be very hard for AJ to win that fight. Because I think stylistically, Usyk is all wrong for AJ. I do. And I actually think Usyk could possibly beat Fury. I know people are going to say no chance. Imran, what are you talking about? Nah, Usyk can, man. You know, Fury is very sloppy in the way he boxes and Usyk could take advantage of that. I just think Usyk is special. I do. And maybe people disagree with me. I think Usyk's just an incredible fighter. I think it's going to be very hard for AJ. I think Fury, obviously, Fury's a different fighter. He's different class. But I definitely think he beats AJ. And like I said, I think the Fury fight isn't a foregone conclusion. I think Usyk could win that fight as well. I do. And as I said in the live stream, if you were to ask me who would I put my money on or whatever, I'd probably put it on Usyk because he's consistent. He's proven at the highest level more. He's more... What I mean by that is he's fought better fighters. For majority of his career, consistently, he's been in the ring with better fighters. He's done it at a higher level for a longer period of time as amateur and pro. As an amateur and pro. So he's been consistent. He's never been a guy that's gone away and disappeared and had issues. No, he's been consistent. He's a serial winner. He's never lost. Neither is Fury, but Fury hasn't had the success as Usyk as an amateur. So Usyk has had all this success as an amateur and pro. He's had all that success. And the only thing that really stands Fury out is his size. Because I don't think he's a better boxer than Usyk. No chance. I feel Usyk is better than him. But I just think the only thing that might beat Usyk is the size. Because Usyk, I mean, Fury is a great boxer and he can obviously he's a bigger man. So that's in his advantage. But I don't think he's naturally a better boxer than Oleksandr Uysk. No chance. And like I said, I actually think Usyk could beat him. I do. And I'm stick by that. If maybe people disagree with me, Usyk is a great fighter. You know, he's a great fighter. He's just been more consistent, done it for a longer period of time as an amateur and pro. And I've said it all along, I think Usyk may even beat Fury. You know, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I actually think that would be Fury's toughest fight by a country mile. Even stylistically, I just think the way Usyk fights, his movement, I just think that would be a nightmare for Fury. You know, his side-to-side movement, I just think that would be horrible for Fury. And remember, Usyk's used to fighting bigger guys. Usyk's used to fighting bigger guys. And all this stuff about Usyk can't hurt bigger. Yeah, he can. He's got enough respectable power where he can hurt. Like, hey, listen, if Cunningham can put Fury down, then Usyk can hurt Fury as well. Usyk's fast. He's deceptively quick as well. That's not an easy fight for Tyson Fury at all. I think you guys are sleeping on. And here's the thing. I know Ray made a point about Tyson Fury that he steps up to the level of opposition. But if you look at the fights that he's had at top level, Klitschko and Wilder, he struggled against Wilder twice out of 3 fights. You know, he struggled against Otto Wallin, Cunningham, you know, was it Brian McDermott or John? I can't remember his name. But he struggled a lot in his career as well. And if we look at his 2 names that he's fought, Wilder and Klitschko, yeah, he did a good job on Klitschko. But against Wilder, out of the 3 fights that he had with him, 2 of them, he really struggled in those fights. He got dropped twice. Well, got dropped 4 times across 2 fights. Yeah, his third fight, the second fight, he totally dominated it, fair play. But the first and third fights, he didn't dominate those fights at all. You know, he was hurt in those fights. You know, so I don't think Fury's did like, whereas Usyk, look at what Usyk did as a cruiser. Dismantled everybody. And as a heavyweight, he went up to heavyweight and people were saying, well, his performances aren't that good at heavyweight, but he absolutely dismantled Anthony Joshua, took him apart. You know, so if you're going to say if there's anyone that rises to the level of opponent, it's Usyk. Because Usyk at the 2 heavyweight fights against, I forgot his name, I forgot the guy's name that he fought first, then he fought Derek Chisora. Witherspoon, was it Witherspoon? I think it was I can't remember who it was that he fought. I can't remember who it was he fought. And then he fought, I can't remember the first guy's name he fought out heavyweight, but whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. And then Derek Chisora, then he jumped from that to AJ, and that's why people were giving him no shot. But then he jumped up and he absolutely dismantled AJ. So he's the one that rises to the level of opponent, you know. And he's like, I've never seen him hurt. I've never seen him, you know, he's a monster. He's an absolute monster. So I don't know why people are doubting him, to be honest with you. I think he's proved to you guys enough now to say that this guy is a legitimate force against any fighter. The guy's a beast of a fighter. And like I said, I think he does a serious job. I think he does a serious job on a lot of guys. You know, I think he's special. I do. And yeah, guys, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this AJ. Do you think Oleksandr Uysk will knock AJ out again? Leave your thoughts, guys. Leave your thoughts. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.